This is the Lobster Nosejob. It's a brand new board for the 13-14 winter season, made by the brand run by the Helgeson brothers, Eike and Haldor. Lobsters are built in the same factory as battalions, so this shares a lot of tech with the battalion range. The profile, the base profile, is triple base, so it's basically divided up into 3 sections with the edges slightly lifted. This means you're less likely to catch an edge, which is obviously massively helpful if you're just learning to snowboard, because you're less likely to scorpion, and it's also really good when you're riding rails, because you're not going to dig your edge in and sort of fly face forward off the edge of the rail. The main thing about this board though has nothing to do with the tech at all. It's just like a purely aesthetic thing. They came up with the idea of, rather than building it in a particular shape, why not let people who buy the board and ride it actually shape it themselves. So what Lobster have done is they've marked off these sections at the end, and there's no core wood or any sort of sidewall material, any sort of edge material or anything like that in the nose or the tail of this board. And the idea is that you can basically cut it to whatever shape you like, so you can essentially shape your own nose, hence the name. When you buy a Lobster Nosejob, they actually give you some templates, and the Helgesons being the Helgesons, the templates they've decided to give you are boobies, 2 ass cheeks, or a bell end. So those are basically their default settings for what you might want to shape it to. Apparently the brothers have taken to cutting holes, like sort of letterbox slots in the nose and tail of their board, so they can invent a couple of new grabs, which sounds quite good fun. This board is aimed at jibbers, rail riders, people who want to hit street spots, that kind of thing. It would be great, I think, for dome riders. It's super soft, basically. I've just been shredding this around on the hill, and if I'm honest, for me it was actually a little bit too soft. I'm used to having a little bit more power in the nose and tail of my board, and I found that it was quite hard to hold on to some landings, some of the landings on some tricks. But that said, I think on rails it would be fantastic. There's enough sort of give in there that you can still pop a decent ollie, but it's obviously, the softness makes it great for buttering. If you were an adventurous beginner who fancied sculpting your own board, you might quite enjoy this as well, because the softness makes it quite forgiving. It wasn't the most stable at speed. I'd be a little bit wary about hitting a big kicker on it, but for pissing around on the piste, it was a hell of a lot of fun.